Welcome in, everybody, as we get started with a brand new day, episode number 667 here on Good Morning Huntsville. We appreciate you joining us here, waking up with us. It is a beautiful, chilly start to the day. It's a Rick Boning type morning this morning.
No, it's not.
No cold this morning for Rick.
Oh, I like it when it's about 70 degrees out.
I turned on the heater. Kaye, we strategically put Rick right under that vent there because I knew about his cold spells, and so when we designed the studio, I said we're going to put a vent right there, and we're going to put Rick right there. And it's worked out.
It's great. I love it. I'm basking in the warmth.
Wait till it's summer, then you'll have to switch us.
Yeah, we'll move you around, Rick. That's okay. It's not like, at the local establishment where you have a nameplate. Some places have that where you sit down, and you have your nameplate. Eventually, maybe we'll get those and
I
go
don't
on the
think
microphone.
we need that.
Well, welcome in, everybody, as we do get started, and thank all of you for joining us who's watching this morning on social media, or maybe you are listening on Spirit 94.3. We do want to welcome you in. It is a great, marvelous Monday as we get started. Underwriting support for this program is made possible in part by Elliott's Jewelers. Their website is elliotsjewelers.com. And on this Monday, support also made possible in part by Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, 3 locations in Huntsville. Their website, tomorrowspromise.info. And we are joined by Rick and Kaye Boning. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Welcome back. Second time in the new studio, and we're slowly navigating the waters. And we did have some water to navigate through, Kaye. We had a nice rain this last end of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he slept through it. I was awake.
I passed out.
We were up here. It was the first time that we had a thunderstorm, if you will, since we put up everything. And so I was up here, and we had some pretty big lightning bolts, flying by. And so I was a little bit nervous because we have everything grounded and taken care of, but I'm still nervous because I hope that the power doesn't go out or anything. And what happens? There's a huge bolt over here. Everything rattled, and the lights and everything in here flickered. I said, "Oh no, we're going to lose our transmitter the first storm that comes through." We have it protected, but you're still a little bit nervous about it.
Well, yeah.
So we made it through. And
you didn't go out there and grab onto the tower, did you?
No, didn't try that.
I was going to say, he was standing out there with a lightning rod saying, hit this.
Hey, I've discovered electricity. Oh wait, somebody did that a couple hundred years ago. And then the great part of it is, we always want to always be thankful and be grateful. And that's why we have this program and lift people up. And we needed the rain. Mm-hmm. And it came a torrential downpour, and it must have downtown. I had a meeting scheduled with someone at noon on Friday, and they said, I'm not going to be able to get out of the parking lot for a while. So we ended up doing it via Zoom. And that person was right, because when I drove downtown, there was debris. Where that over there by H-E-B, everything always floods? Mm-hmm. Boy, there must have been a big wave of water come through there, because there was debris all over the road. But we got some much-needed rain.
We were at Walker County Title, and there was a waterfall on the opposite side of the street where it was going over the curb.
That's always been a thing. And it's weird, because you think this area is high off the ground, but the rain, somehow, even up high, still flows like a river here in Huntsville. So 2 things about Huntsville. 1, in a positive way, be careful when you drive out. I don't know how we can spin this positive, but when you drive out of parking lots, you may bottom out. That's a known factor. And number 2, the water, when it comes downtown, it comes downtown. So
yeah.
Well, we are here. The first segment we always do over the air on 94.3. And really quick, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. We have had a tremendous amount of people download the Spirit Radio app also. And so we're excited about that. We've had reports from folks that live out off 30. And, we only broadcast within the FCC limits what we're allowed to through the transmitter.
It's like 300 yards, right?
No, it goes a little bit farther than that. But we do know that we are blessed to be able to reach 5 of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice units here in town, and so we're able to hopefully speak a little bit of hope into the lives of the folks that are incarcerated. And that was a vision that the Lord put on my heart when we started the station, and so we're thankful for that. And also out off 30, I had some folks reporting that they were picking us up crystal clear out there off Hoke Road, and that's a pretty good ways out.
That is a long way.
And we are well within the FCC limits. It's not like we're hitting the gas pedal on the transmitter. And so we know that the signal is reaching, and we have a few folks coming in to help us tweak a few things just to try to get that a little bit better, again, within the license that we have. And real quick, one thing, and thank you for the prayers, we are now, not that we weren't allowed to, because during your construction permit time, you can go on the air, which we did, but we did receive our official license to cover, they call it a LTC, on Friday. So that came through, and so now we are, to the best of my knowledge, officially official. So we are rocking and rolling. We do want to start off these Mondays. It's one of my favorite segments that we get to do here with Kaye. And Kaye, you always bring a wealth of knowledge, working in education now for nearly 3 decades, if you think.
More than that.
But yeah, so
It's over the 3 decades. It's over the 30 mark.
It's hard to believe that she's that old.
Well, I was trying to give her a little bit of grace. I was going to say,
I know, but she was just pushing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, Kaye, it's been a couple of years.
Well, okay. I will say that my high school term paper was over children and TV.
Really? Okay. So it goes.
Although I was not interested in education at all, but I had to do a term paper, and I liked watching Saturday morning comics, so I thought I would talk about children and TV.
There was seeds getting planted before you knew that what is that fertilizer stuff that you always see in the spray in the water hose. Anyways, you were putting the seeds in before the fertilizer was already there.
I didn't know I was planting seeds. I had no intention of planting any seeds, but apparently I did.
Well, speaking of seeds and planting things, now this doesn't really tie into to some things, but we can make it that way. Today's Monday Mindset is about designing your environment for success.
And planting the seeds.
Yeah, planting off the wall. This doesn't relate, but I moved a plant yesterday because I was tired of looking at it in the kitchen, and so I moved it to the front door to give a different environment, to make it feel a little bit better.
Did you talk to it?
I did not. But anyways, Kaye, what do you have for us today?
Studies show that if you the way you talk to your plant, or if you play positive music to the plant, it will grow better than if you play negative music.
How do we get into these studies to where we can make this kind of money from doing this, Rick?
I had no idea. But I talk to my plants occasionally.
Yeah,
Get out of my way.
Poor plants. Well, it is Kaye's Monday Mindset. We want to get you started off on the right mindset to start this week. Kaye, what do you have for us today?
So, we like to think that success comes down to willpower, trying harder, pushing through, or being more disciplined. But willpower fades. Let's see, how many people still have their New Year's resolutions that they made?
Still got mine.
That you've made and you've kept it so far?
Yeah.
Must not have. You didn't tell me.
Not to change a bit.
Great job.
You failed.
What? You've
changed a little bit in the last few days. But your environment shapes your behavior. So if you want to change your life, you must first change what surrounds you. Your environment quietly influences your habits, your moods, your focus, and even what you believe is possible. If something feels harder than it should, it may not be you, it may be your environment working against you. Your environment matters more than you think. What you see, hear, and experience every day affects how you think and act. A cluttered space creates mental noise. A negative environment drains motivation. A supportive environment helps you rise without constant effort. So your environment reduces decision fatigue. When your space supports your goals, you don't have to fight against it all day. Healthy choices become easier, focus becomes faster, and peace more accessible. You grow into what you're around. The people you spend time with, the words you hear, the content you consume. All of it. Garbage in, garbage out. Shapes you over time. Growth isn't about doing more, it's about being more intentional with what you allow in. So your environment challenge for the week. Focus. Clear one space. Declutter one small area, a desk, a bag, or a digital folder. This creates mental clarity and calm. I need to work on this really bad right now.
Didn't want to say a word.
Okay, well, right now I am dragging all of my files on my desktop and I'm dumping them into the trash bin icon. Thank you. I'm decluttering. It's working.
Probably
Now,
not
wait a
good
minute.
idea.
You're supposed to be listening, not tracking files.
Multitasking. There we go.
There, I see them.
You cannot multitask. Did you know that?
See, this is I'm okay. I need to listen to the
Yeah,
environment.
you cannot multitask. What you're doing when you think you're multitasking is your brain is switching from two different things back and forth.
Okay.
So audit your input. Pay attention to what you're listening to, what you're watching, and what you're reading. This protects your mindset and focus. And choose supportive people. Spend time with someone who encourages growth. This reinforces positive habits. You don't have to overhaul everything. Small environmental change create powerful momentum. And a final thought, you don't rise only by trying harder, you rise by setting yourself up better. Design your environment so it supports the life you're building, not the habits you're trying to leave behind. Change what surrounds you and watch how you begin to change too.
I've always heard that phrase. You guys have all heard this too. You're a product of your environment. And we can't always control every aspect of everything, but we can think differently about some things. What I'm getting at, and maybe you grew up in a tough situation and you can't change that, or sometimes you can't control that. Maybe as a child, some things that happen, or different things, or even as an adult. I have a friend who works in a job that he told me, he goes, man, he's been there for 20 years. And he said, I'm thankful and I'm grateful, but he goes, I just don't like the environment that I'm in. And this was back in Central Texas. But he said, but I've had to kind of push that aside, and I've changed just my space within that work area. And it's helped me to be, I don't know the right word, but he said that it's helped him just be more comfortable, I guess, going in there towards not this toxic environment. Because he said, that's what I'm getting at. I'm trying to work. I'm really bad with words this morning, Kaye. He works in a very toxic environment is what I'm saying. And when I said sometimes you can't control everything around you, he can't control the actions of others. But what he said that he has learned is he controls how he responds to that.
Yes, you can control how you respond.
And he has done some things, simple things, physically, like putting up a picture and putting a plant on his desk. There's things that he said that I did that kind of take away the toxicity of that environment that he's in. So does that kind of make sense? I was trying to find my words on that. So, maybe.
That's exactly. Some people put a picture on the wall and they'll look at that picture of an ocean or something like that brings them that peace. And but there's a lot of things. And I know prior to meeting Rick, I was married to an assistant district attorney, and I know all of the bad things that people do. And I read true crime books, and I, read Stephen King, and
If I come up missing.
and all of these things, So I was filling my brain with a lot of that negativity.
Yeah.
And the movies I watched and things like that, and probably even the music I listened to and stuff. And when I met Rick, he's like, I like watching comedies. And he's like, there's enough bad stuff in the world without watching it all the time. And so as, I watched things he was interested in watching, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't need to watch that stuff anymore. And so now, I still have those books, but I haven't read a true crime book or anything like that for, over 20 years now.
Wow. Yeah, it is so true, and I'll spin it this way too. Sundays. That's why I believe it's so important to get up and go to church. Some people say, "Well, I don't have to go to church to go to heaven." Well, that's true. You don't. There's nothing in the Bible that says you have to go to church to go to heaven. The only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ and a personal relationship with Him. But it's being in that environment, being around fellow believers, and worshiping together that just lifts you up. You think about it. If you miss a Sunday, and let me toss it my way. If I miss a Sunday, whether it's within my control or not, maybe sometimes we're traveling or whatever, can't control that, but I feel it. I notice the next day or even that afternoon, I'm like, I really missed you. And then I'll think about Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and it feels like the week is just not as good as it could have been if I would have filled myself up on Sunday because of that environment. I needed to be in the house of the Lord to fill me up. But at the same token, you can also step back and think, all right, well, I'm in control of this and my thoughts and my actions and what I'm going to do. And that is a commitment. We talked over the last week about, instead of resolutions, commitments. What commitments are you making in 2026? Well, one of the commitments that I'm going to add to this year is just keeping my environment a little more tidy, keeping things a little more organized, keeping things a little bit more clean. I did my taxes last night. I felt great. I said, wow, this is awesome. Now, granted, they were from a previous year, which we were on an extended, but you know, and we've been that's a whole nother long story. We had been in discussion on that with the accountant, but that was something that was weighing very heavy on me because it needed to be done. I've never ever been late, and that was something that was very heavy on me. And there were some things we had to work through. But now, because I've got that out of the way, I'm motivated now, and I don't want to be late again, because that was the first time in, 25 years of me doing tax I've ever been late. But now, because of getting that clutter cleaned up and something that I needed to, I'm ready to take on this new year and be committed to getting things knocked out earlier in 2026. So,
right now my environment it's buried in cherish and this, that, and the other, that, because I've got so many different projects I'm working on. There's a little stack here, a little stack there, here a stack, there a stack, everywhere, stack. And it's like February 7th or 8th, I am hoping to just kind of like go file, trash, file, trash.
yeah.
And find that thing. I think I have a brown desk.
It's hard to tell because it's paper-colored now.
I think I vaguely remember it.
You're digging through. Oh, what is this little? Oh, wonderful. Well, something else. There was the HLI class. And Kaye, are you still on the committee of that? Mm-hmm. The HLI, that's the Huntsville Leadership Institute. The local Chamber of Commerce does. That's a really awesome program. And
if you want to learn about Huntsville, that's an excellent class to go do.
Well, we had went to a business here in town, and the gentlemen's, because it's a couple of guys that own the business, it was really neat how their process works and their environment. And this was a manufacturing business. And normally when you go into a manufacturing business, it's either extremely organized and very clean, or there's clutter all over the place. Mm-hmm. This was and you can see the ones that run the most efficient are the ones that are organized and have the systems in place. And so this one was very well organized from the top down, and every morning they meet and they go over, they have a quick meeting in the morning, and a different staff member leads that meeting each morning. And they introduced me to a book that they follow. It's called The 2-Second Lean. And basically the premise of that book is you have 2 seconds to make a decision on everything that you do. It's either yes, I'm going to, or no, I'm not. And think of it in the morning. Whenever you know that you need to get up, but you're like, well, I'm a little bit tired. Maybe I was up later. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the snooze button for another 15 minutes. But in that 2 seconds, you should have chosen, I'm going to get up and get moving. And that's the premise of the book. It seems really simple, but there's a lot. The book is actually pretty long, and there's a lot of techniques that you can apply within that. But basically, that's it, is the 2-second lean. 2 seconds that can change everything about your day through your thought process. And the more that, I'm a big believer, like you're talking about the environment, the more that we think about these things, the more that it becomes part of our daily life. How many things have we heard that are just common sense on the outside, but on the inside, we know that the more that we hear it, the more that we're going to do it. People will tell you something, Rick, like, oh, well, hey, if you just do this, and common sense wise, well, of course, but it's not until you apply it that you actually start to see the change.
Just something simple as making your bed every day. And there's actually a book called Make Your Bed.
Every day.
No, Make Your Bed. And it talks about the psychological benefits of having a habit like making your bed. How it'll change you.
One thing that I wanted to be more aware of is just this year is the power of prayer and being committed to prayer. There was a stat that our pastor had mentioned a few weeks ago that really convicted me, was that on average, ministers only spend 3 minutes a day in prayer. And our prayer language is our communication to God. That is how we communicate with the Lord. And I started thinking, there's a lot of days that I fall into that same bucket. And I'm just being transparent. It's the truth. And I said I wanted to make this year more of a commitment to prayer first. And so the Bible app is really cool. And it's funny how all this works because there's some notification that just started popping up. And you know what it says? In the morning, remember to pray. I didn't program that.
Mine does that too.
I didn't even notice it, but now I'm noticing it. And so that's something, I've always said a quick prayer in the morning, but now I'm trying to be a little more mindful about just instead of saying, hey, Lord, thank you for this day. I'm ready to go. Amen. I mean, I'm trying to make it more of a longed out prayer of saying, Lord, think of all the things that I'm thankful for to get started. And you've been talking about this over 14 weeks about gratitude. That is an environment that you are building to set up each and every day. So one quick question I have for you, Kaye. I've always heard that like the top Fortune 500 CEOs have very cluttered desks, but I don't want, have you heard of this, right? They've interviewed them all and they've always said those guys always, but here's the thing. At the end of each day, you know what those guys do that they didn't talk about? Most of them do this, even though they have clutter all over their desk. And you probably do this too. I do it as well. I still stack that up and at least try to organize the clutter a little bit. Instead of just having papers all over the place, I separate them into piles. So I still have clutter everywhere. But now I'm serious though, but it just makes it, the environment makes it feel a little bit better now that I've actually stacked up the clutter that I have. So there's even things in that, right? I mean, I'm being serious about this.
No, my papers on my desk are fairly organized as to.
She knows where she can lay her hands on stuff.
Yeah, this is where this
and
is.
And she's got 2 desks, and they both look like that.
But you know where it is because it's organized clutter. That's how I
Mine's
like it.
not organized. It's just clutter.
But occasionally I will take everything and make one pile. You know, I mean, it's stacked. The piles are stacked so there's a difference between them, and I'll take each piece of paper and I'm done with it, you know, and it goes where it needs to go, either the file folder, you know, and file cabinet or trash can or, you know,
The
Those
shredder.
things. Well, you had
Shredder,
mentioned just to kind of wrap up this about the environment. You know, this is so good this morning, and the full article, by the way, is online at hellohuntsvilletx.com. Designing your environment for success. And again, the focus this week. Think about the challenges. Clear one space. Just declutter one small area. Don't get overwhelmed. Maybe your house is full of clutter. Don't get overwhelmed thinking you got to do everything. Just focus on one area to start with. A desk, a bag, a folder, like you said, a digital folder. Boy, how much digital junk do we have laying around?
See, my digital stuff is fairly well organized. I can lay my hands on stuff on my computer.
Mine is it's in fold, but see, I overthink it, Kaye, and I have folders inside. I'm like, should I organize this by like what it is, or should I organize it by year? And then then I get, what is it called, paralysis by analysis. But it is organized in some ways.
But he's heard me say before that I need a corner, I need a space somewhere to go where it's neat and tidy and everything's right where, you know, the
OCD.
OCD, you know, everything's exactly where it's supposed to be and put away, and I just need to be that space somewhere at some point.
One here too, and I like this one, Kaye. This is so important. You said audit your input this week. That's the focus too. Audit your input and pay attention to what you're listening to, watching, and reading. And again, I think that comes back to you're a product of your environment. If you're listening to negative, and that could even go even a step further about, well, you said it in the next one, choose supportive people. You know, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are constantly negative, who are constantly saying, well, that ain't going to work, or that's a bad idea? Or are you surrounding yourself with people who are promoting, you know, or who are pushing you to do more and who are motivating you? And it is good. I will say this. It is good to always have that one person, though, that does kind of help you tap the brakes a little bit. And I was so blessed for so many years to have my brother work with me because I had all these ideas and we would institute a lot of the ideas and integrate them. But my brother would always give me a different mindset. He did it the right way. He'd say, you know, it's not a bad idea, but have you thought about this? And I didn't think about it. You know, like when we used to do Halloween nights and we'd cook up 500 hot dogs and we'd have, this is corny, but we'd have George Foreman grills lined up in the hallway. He goes, this is a great idea, But did you think about, is it going to trip the breaker? And guess what? He was me. But I know it sounds corny, but that's the truth. Having somebody that always thinks about, well, you can do this, but will this happen? And so, think about the things though that you're surrounding yourself with. What music are you listening to? What are you reading? And that will really, like you said, help protect your mindset and focus. And then the third thing that we just alluded to is choose supportive people. Are you around the person that's always just grumbling and complaining all the time? Or are you around the person that is saying, you know what, man, that's pretty cool. Think about this, or you're going to be able to get through this. Think about the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And I think it's important, too, though, to surround yourself with people who are true to you and who are truthful to you. I've got one guy in my inner circle that is that guy, and I think it's important to have that one or two outside. Of course, your spouse needs to be in that circle. Your spouse better be in that circle. But it's also good to have a friend that is going to be there for you. And think about the times that you've been down and who's been there in your life. And if you have people, and I'm not saying, dismiss people, but I am saying just be mindful of this. The people that have been there for you during the struggles, those are the people that are really there for you. And I don't judge this at all, because sometimes some people are just a rocket fuel, but I think about the people the Lord's blessed me to be in contact with. And when there's high points in my life and then there's been low points, 90% of those people that were there with me on those high points aren't around. And I'm not saying that they're bad people or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's those 10% of people that have always been there for me are the ones that I know that I can lean on. And I'll end with this, and we'll wrap it up. I learned something when I was up in Fargo. I may have shared this before, but as a sports broadcaster, you had the privilege sometimes most of the time, of being in the team meetings. And the coach up there had told me, Rob, you're always welcome into the meetings. I trust you. I know that you're not going to spill out information or give away the game plan to the opposing team. And there was a lot of things that he said that weren't for the public or weren't for because it was an intimate moment. And I'll never forget being on the bus, and we were on a 4 or 5 game win streak after winning 4 or 5 in a row. Or I'm sorry, we were on a 4 to 5 game losing streak after winning 4 or 5 in a row. So we were in a losing streak. And everybody was down and out, and coach was obviously upset. And we were on that bus, and he pulls out his phone, and he told the bus driver, he said, "Hey, before we go, I need to address the team." And I usually sit pretty close up front. He pulls out his phone. He goes, I want to show you guys something. And this was a really cool teaching moment, even for me. He pulls out his phone and he starts scrolling, and then he stops, and then he starts scrolling a lot. And he goes, "You see my finger moving like this?" And all the guys were, "Yeah, yes, sir." He goes, "These are all the messages that I got when we were winning." And he starts reading, "Great job, coach. We support you. Awesome job. I'm so proud to see tons. 40, 50 messages." And then he scrolls back to the top, and he barely moves his thumb. And he goes, "And here's the messages that I got over these last 4 or 5 games that we've lost." He goes, three messages that I've gotten of saying, "Coach, I support you. I'm with you." He goes, "Those 3 people mean more to me and make more of a difference in my life than all those others, because they are with us through the thick and the thin." And it's funny how in life, Kaye, and anyone can relate to this. I know you can as well, but it's funny in life how, I'm there as a sports broadcaster, but I learned something about the value of friendships in the middle of that. So you never know in your job or your occupation or what you're doing. When you go to a seminar, you may learn something that you think at the moment isn't relevant, and then one day it's going to come back and pop into your head as a little nugget and say, "I remember that, and now it makes sense." There's a lot of teaching and training that you guys go through, right? So obviously, with the school.
Leaving this week, I got a training Wednesday and half of Thursday, and then we leave to go to San Antonio because I got a training Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. So it's you're gonna be, I won't say overloaded, but you're going to take in a ton of information. And obviously you're not going to be able to recall everything, but there's going to be moments that are going to pop up that training is going to come in to be important. Again, your environment. You are putting yourself in an environment to continue to learn and grow and succeed. And I think that's what's important. So, well, hey, good opening segment. Again, the full information, you can go back and review it online at HelloHuntsvilleTX.com. spirit94.com. And my beautiful bride is chiming in this morning, Kaye, and she says, good morning. Great advice for positivity every day. And that's what we want to do here on this show. Well, for those of you that are joining us on Spirit 94.3, we'll go back to regular music and uplifting music and programming. And for those of you on social media, we will continue the show as we've got more to talk about, some events coming up, some really important events that are near and dear to the heart of Kaye, something that she cherishes very much. So,
Way to work that in.
Yeah. So if you'd like to continue the conversation, again, it will continue on social media. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Good morning, Huntsville. God bless. We'll be right back after this. This is Good Morning, Huntsville. Stay with us, please.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We are not a daycare. We are a child care center focused on the growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, education you can trust.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House.
For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville. Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
All right, everybody, back at it as we continue on. Now we're just on the soch. We can kind of take a deep breath. Now I can start talking about how good of a guy Rick is.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's go there.
Yeah, just a great guy. He is. Well, no, welcome back. You are a great guy, though, by the way.
Who tells you that?
I do.
Yeah, Kaye
You told Rob that?
Sometimes you walk out
When
of
you're
the-
not around, I tell lots
Yes.
of people how great you are.
Oh, but when I'm here, that's when you're
Well, then
negative.
your head
just
might grow. I mean, you might have to turn sideways to get through the door or something.
Carry that ego around.
Sometimes, if you walk out first, Kaye kind of nudges me. She goes, "Hey, psst, Rick's a really great guy. Be nice to him." And that's how it works.
Now I feel guilty because I never do that
It
for her.
works. Well, hey, I wanted to come back. Some really great things happening here in our community, and I wanted to lead with this because there are so many organizations right now that are seeking help, and a lot of organizations need help, and I think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that folks don't realize with numerous organizations. And I'm saying this kind of in a way not to put us on a pedestal, but to mention here at this station. We received the early funding, which we are so grateful for, to be here and to get this thing online and to get it going. And there was a lot that went on behind the scenes. And now we're at the point to where we're going to have to start raising more funds to now make it sustainable. We got the money we needed to get it going, and now we've got to focus on sustainability. And from the outside looking in, a lot of folks would say, well, that thing's up and rolling. That thing's going well. But there is so many moving parts behind organizations, especially nonprofits. And one thing that we're fortunate for on this program is we do get to highlight a ton of nonprofit organizations. You guys, Tomorrow's Promise is a nonprofit, the Tomorrow's Promise Education Foundation. And we'll talk about a really important event coming up here in a moment. But just be mindful of that this morning. I think, and I was talking to someone about this a while back, that unless you're in the inner workings, sometimes on the outside, it's easier to see things differently, to say, well, that looks like that should be happening this way, but it's not. And then once you step into that role, you're like, whoa, this was a whole different ballgame. I was sharing a story about really good guy, but an employee that I had, and I won't go into the details, but he wasn't in the inner workings, even though he was one of the front guys. He wasn't in the inner operations of the business. And then I invited him one day. I said, well, hey man, I'd invite you, come hang out with me, and let me show you the inside of this thing. And when I showed him the inside of everything that goes on, he kind of said, well, man, I'm sorry. I didn't realize all that was going on. And that happens with a lot of organizations, especially nonprofits. There's so much going on. And that's one reason I think, especially in this community, that you see a lot of organizations saying, hey, we need help, because they don't operate in the wind. There's got to be some things going on. So.
Well, and especially like child care centers, healthcare might have 25% of their costs be salaries. Mm-hmm. Construction might be 30% or whatever. But child care, between 55 and 70% of the income that comes in goes straight right back out the door in salaries. And especially when you talk about, we are not highly paid workers at all. I mean, but most of our funds go right back out the door because we have so many teachers for the X number of children. Yeah.
It's not like you have one for 30. You've got to have one for 10 or whatever the number is. You've got to have them there. And I know that you said it's not like this high paying job, but you do have to find ways, and you guys do a great job of it. Keeping the teachers, if you lowball them like some do, then you're going to have turnover every month. Y'all have pretty great retention. When I think of people like Charlotte, who have been there for almost as long as you've had it, when I think of her daughter Sophia, who has been there, and I think of so many others, Miss Avery, Braylon's teacher, there's something to that. And what's to that is you guys are working hard to provide what you can within your availability to help these folks out.
Yep. Yeah, you don't get rich being a teacher or doing childcare. Mm-hmm. Now, people look at Rick and I and think we're rich, but we did not make our money from the school.
That's the truth.
I mean, we've had other businesses, other investments, things like that. I mean, I have always made more from my other investments and my other businesses that I'm involved in than I have ever made from the school.
You told me something that stuck with me when you were younger about how you had quite a bit of money saved up by the time you were a certain age, and I thought, man, you know what that did for me? I would say, it ain't going to help me. It's going to help my children. I opened up a couple of savings accounts for them.
That's an excellent idea.
And any time, like, here's a perfect.
And I would say put it in the stock market.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I had $10,000 saved by the time I graduated high school, and I was 17 years old. Now I babysat, I mowed lawns, I cleaned houses, I worked at a grocery store, and that's the money I spent. I made $60 a week working at the grocery store, and I spent $15.
And that's twice what she makes now.
And yes, 10 of it went to my car that got 9 miles to the gallon, and 5 of it was my fund money. And I worked inputting data into a computer system for the trucking company that my dad worked for or co-owned. Mm-hmm. And so, I literally got out of school and for the most part worked. From the time I was about 14, 13. Now, I was babysitting at 12, but I worked.
You and I have a similar story, except I didn't save money, but I worked.
And this was at $3.10 an hour was the minimum wage.
Wow.
So,
wow. I can remember when it was $1.05.
Yeah. Wow. It is, though, and I think so many times if we would just pause and take a moment, and I'm just saying this in general, just take a moment. And if I've always said it like this, I don't like to speak about certain things unless I'll give a little bit of advice where I can, but I don't try to put myself into somebody else's shoes and act like I know what's going on when I've never walked it.
Yeah.
Now I will give some advice and I'll say, well, hey, I can't put myself into your shoes, but if you try this, maybe this could happen. But I'm not going to act like I know. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about you, Kaye, or about you, Rick. And y'all are pretty open and transparent about so many things, or even me. Someone. I'll never forget when this was funny. I was at church, and I was in the young adult group, and I had my computer business then. And this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Man, that computer business is doing pretty well, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, your uncle gave you a ton of money to get that started, right?" I said, "What?" "Well, so-and-so said that your uncle I said, well, if you know who that uncle is, I'd like to meet him. So there was like 8 people that thought that some uncle, this non-existent uncle, gave me a bunch of money to start that computer business. I said, no. I said, I built that thing from scratch, from the ground up. Now, what did happen is I met a gentleman who believed in us so much that he invested $10,000 in the business, which isn't really much at all to get started, but it helped. And he basically purchased my quote-unquote intellectual knowledge. That's how we wrote it on paper for legality. But I said, but there was so much more that I had to do before I even got to that point, before I even met this guy to even get this thing started.
Yeah.
And so I would challenge people to this, that, and it's really important to take a moment and pause and think about when you see a business. Think about this today, seriously. When you drive by any business or any organization, really think about what it took for that organization to get to where they're at. Think about it. And don't just, and I even think of it like this, Kaye. I know this may be off the wall, but a local McDonald's franchise, you think, oh, that's a big corporation. How easy is it? No, there's somebody that had a vision and sacrificed a ton to open up that franchise. And now maybe they own 30 or 40 of them. But it just didn't happen because of luck or because they were just, that it just fell into their lap. No. The majority, and those are the stories that you hear that make you think, and that's not true.
When I started the school, and I didn't have to work. I started the school. I gave myself a $10,000 budget, and I signed a lease for $1,000 a month. Well, that kind of negated that $10,000 budget, except I started with 3 students at $250 a month. So I'm like, okay, that's $750 coming in. But, then I had the electricity going out, and I had the rent going out, and I had all these different things going out. But I allowed myself a $10,000 budget to start it, and I didn't have to make a salary. And that's where a lot of people have a problem when they start a business, is they have to have a salary when they start that business.
Because they have no other source of income.
They have no other source. And that's why 50% of businesses fail within the first year, is because they don't have that money to make it work. And part of the reason why I had that money to make it work is because as a youth,
all the things you did young.
I was 30. Yeah. I was 30 when I started the school. It's not like I started school when I was 18 years old.
I was Googling last night, can I be successful at 50? I'm serious. I don't know why. I was just like...
I'm still waiting to become successful.
Well, I mentioned all this it was on my heart this morning because as I was driving in, I'm seeing a lot of organizations, and I was going through events, and I was thinking about it too as I went through our events section on our website, and there's a lot of organizations that have events coming up, here pretty quick. One of them, the Walker County Warrior Banquet. There's a barbecue fundraiser coming up for the Pregnancy Care Center, the Chili at the Lodge. I mean, these organizations have these events because they need the resources to continue to operate and function. It's not because someone at the lodge is paying themselves a big check. It's not because somebody with Rotary is making money. As you and I know, nobody makes any money with Rotary. That's not why it exists. I'm just looking at these.
That's a problem people have. They think because I started the school, they think I own the school. And I hear that daily. Oh, somebody will be introducing me. Kaye, she owns Tomorrow's Promise. No, Kaye doesn't own Tomorrow's Promise. Tomorrow's Promise is a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I started it.
You can't own a nonprofit.
Yeah, and see that's what I've been explaining that too with the radio station here, and I'm thankful for people. It's not that they're being rude. They're actually being pretty nice. Like, oh, well, Rob owns that. I'm like, no, I don't own it. I said the nonprofit is owned by itself. The board runs it. It's owned,
and we have a board.
That's the way it works. So I brought all that up for a reason because you guys are here operating as a nonprofit, not just because of that, but I was thinking about so many other organizations that are going to be reaching out in 2026 for help. And in this community, one thing I love about Huntsville is this community steps up and helps in such big ways. I'm not bashing where I came from, but I see more giving here in this community than I saw in my own community that was 5 times as large as Huntsville. And it's so great to see that. And so one way that we can help organizations is with our time. And obviously another way that we can help is by supporting them financially. I I'll never forget. Some guy was talking to me one time, and I remember I made the comment. I said, well, if you can find a way for Chase just to give me my mortgage each month, then I'll do it. But I said, I got to have money to pay the mortgage. But y'all have a really important event coming up, and this ties in to the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. And I, as a dad and a parent, am a testament of how important this organization is. You guys have to raise money to obviously support the books going out for free to people. And you have worked so hard, Kaye, on putting on really great events to get awareness out. We've seen that with Lasso. I know one year you were sick, so we couldn't do the run, and so you had to come up with another idea to kind of facilitate that. But there's also a lot of expense, behind the scenes on these events, and that's why we've got to have multiple events. You think of any organization in town, I don't know of any organization in town that really just has one and done type events. You've got to constantly have some things going on. This year, I love the event that you're having, Cherish Your Imagination. All 100% of the proceeds will go to the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to get books in the hands of children 0 to 5. I have seen it firsthand, the importance of it. And now, Caden, it warms my heart, is crawling into my wife's lap, he's finally there. I've been praying. Because some of them don't want to, Kaye. And, I don't want to force my children into anything. Braylon from the get-go just loved reading. Caden was like, no. And, you'd read to him a little bit, and then he'd run away and whatever.
And that's a developmental phase.
Now he's crawling into my wife's lap, and guess what she's doing? She's opening the book, and she's reading to him, and my heart melts.
Well, and that's one of the things that we are only serving 1,000 children in the community, and there's over 3,000 that we should be serving. Mm-hmm. So one, we're not covering the expenses of what we are serving. We want to expand, which it takes some effort to expand, i.e. some dollars, to get the word out to more people. But then also, and I'm hoping you'll start seeing this soon. We are in the phases of trying to figure it out, but this is another time factor. We want to start sending out emails every month, so you as a parent will know what your 6-month-old should developmentally be at.
Oh, yeah.
Things you can do with your 6-month-old and how to read to your 6-month-old. And so when you were talking about not paying attention, the attention span, to read to a 6-month-old might be a minute. Mm-hmm. And as a parent, you're going, I'm trying to read this book and they won't pay attention. Well, if it's, a 5-minute book and you get a minute out of them, that's great. Just pick it up and read again, a couple hours later or something like that, or have 2 story times or something. But, to let parents know how to have that knowledge about their child at the appropriate time things. And so we're trying to work out where we can send, Caden's, 2 years old, he'll get a 2-year-old email.
And when you say we is Kaye right now.
No.
That's why we need the funding.
We is working on having the husband help me figure this out. Because me has written all of the emails, but because I'm in the middle of doing so many other things, I'm doing a little of that arm twisting and saying, "Hey, Rick, can you figure out the?"
Let me pause for a moment, Kaye, if you don't mind. I know I talk a lot, but I feel the need to pause. You are the type of person that you don't want the pat on the back, but I think as a community, we need to give Kaye a pat on the back. And I'm not saying this because you're sitting here, or you sponsor our program. You've been a friend long before anything we ever even thought about doing together. Kaye goes above and beyond, behind the scenes, with what the Lord has put on her heart to be a blessing to this community. And from somebody, again, I'll go back to where I came from. We don't have anything like that. There is so much going on in this community that we need to pause right now and make a list of the things that we have versus what we don't, and make a list of the things that we're grateful for. And Kaye, one of them is, as a dad, I'm grateful that you are here in this community, that the Lord has put this idea in your heart many years ago, because my children are benefiting from it. And I know that, like I said, you don't want the pat on the back, but I just want folks to pause for a moment and give Kaye a pat on the back. She gives everybody else a hug. It's time for us as a community to turn around and give her a hug because of all the hard work. And here's the deal. 100 years from now, when you're up in heaven, there's going to be a reward line, and people are going to say, you know what? Maybe it was just a book, but that book inspired me and put me in a positive attitude that wanted me to read the Bible. And now I came into a relationship with the Lord. And I don't think people realize the seeds that you're planting and the difference that you're making in this community. So I wanted to say thank you, and I know Rick echoes this. And I just want the community to know. And I know Kaye on I wouldn't say like a deeper level than anybody else, but we know each other pretty well, and we talk about a lot of things. She really does go above and beyond to make a huge difference in this community. And I will say as a friend and as someone who is thankful for her that we need to step up and do a little bit more to support her efforts and what she is doing, not for her, but for these kids and for the ideas that the Lord has put in your heart, because it is commendable. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. So thank you for letting me do it. I know you don't like that stuff, but I had to say it.
Thank you.
You made her cry.
Well,
I worry about what's going to happen when I'm gone. You know, is the program going to continue? What happens if I'm in a car wreck or something?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened last year. I was sick and I couldn't do the Run With Your Imagination.
Yeah.
And that impacted the program about $10,000.
Yep. And and here's the reality of this. When these programs get impacted, that don't come out of the bank account of air. That comes out of the bank account of the people who are working hard to put these events on. And I'm just so thankful for what y'all do. And I didn't mean to get you teared up, but you know what? That is the compassion and the sincerity of who Kaye is and what she represents. So, and I don't know what I'd do without you and my children, to be honest. We wouldn't have anywhere for them to go to school. I mean, there's other places. Don't get me, and I'm not knocking other places. Don't hear this the wrong way. But the transition of doing it would not be as easy as you guys have made it. And I have to pause and step back, even as a parent, because at everything with children, you can nitpick every little thing. Well, my child, we forgot their jacket today and all this. And it doesn't mean that the school is bad if I, as a parent, forgot a jacket or something dumb, you know? And I've had to step back as a parent. And I think it's hard with 2. You guys have 300, right? So, but thank you. And I brought this up for a reason, because I'm really passionate. And that's why I don't do much, Kaye, but I like to volunteer my time in helping with the events where I can, because I am passionate about what you do, because I want to see children succeed. When you have children, it hits different. You know, I used to see things on TV that something would happen to a child and, you know, my heart would be tugged a little bit. But now anything that I ever hear on the news of something happening to a poor innocent child, I start crying almost every single time. Because what do? I think about my 2 children. And so I want to encourage people, when you see these events, get involved, pray first, help if you can, volunteer your time. And if you have a little bit of extra resources, help out financially. $5 really does go a long way.
Does. And the whole reason why I started the school as a nonprofit and, you know, was to make a difference in a child's life. The whole reason why we're doing Dolly Parton is to try to improve our reading rates. We have 5 prisons here that are full of prisoners that can't read. Imagine society, what it would be. I heard on the radio the other day, 1 in 3 children are passing the 4th grade reading proficiency test nationwide.
Yeah, wow. Just 1 in 3.
1 in 3. So that's like, you know, 66% aren't reading at the right level. You know, and it's just heartbreaking, and why we can't fix things. And it's like, when you have a community that don't have books in the homes and there's no books for those children to read, you can tell a difference when they go to school and they've never seen a book and they don't even know how to hold a book, which way's up, which way's down. Unless they've got pictures in it and they get the cat the right, you know, look the right way with their cat. But
Mommy,
they have
the
to open
cat's
it up and
upside down.
they have to open it up and twist it around.
Yeah.
You know, and
I still do that.
that's the kind of stuff that breaks my heart.
Yeah. It's a huge need, and it's a huge need right here in our community. And this is why this organization is so important. Like I said, we didn't have anything like this in our community. And And I want you to think of something else if you're listening or watching this morning. Well, what difference can a book make? That's simple. Why can't they just go to the library? Why can't they do this? Why can't... You know why?
Do you know how many people don't have cars in this town?
Exactly, and that's what I was going to
Or
make
have the
up.
money to drive to the library?
This is such an easy resource for you as a parent, as a grandparent, to take advantage of. All you got to do is go online.
Yeah.
Type in a name, type in a birth date, type in an address, hit submit, and guess what? In a couple of weeks, you're going to start getting books until that child's 5 years old. Now, that seems simple for you, but in the background, there is a lot of moving parts that have to happen. The cost of this is well over $35,000 a year or so.
Yeah.
Because those books
And-
are free, but the shipping you guys have to pay for.
That's right.
So,
And
that's,
there's cost to that. You know, we have to maintain a MailChimp account. There's things we have to maintain and do that are expenses that come out. And then there's getting the word out
yeah.
and somehow paying for it.
You mean when y'all do events that you mean that's just, you don't have any expense at all?
Yeah, and here's a rough number. You know, like if I was to go rent the LLC, it's $8,000, and then I have to use their food, and that's an extra cost. And so then the more of the ticket price goes to putting on that event. When I go to the fairgrounds, it costs me, I think, about $3,300 to rent the fairgrounds, but they didn't have the screens and things like that to do the bingo games. So we did make a one-time purchase to have the screens.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit extra expense that way. I can use those screens for probably the next
Future,
10 to 20 years. So that was a one-time expense. But we have the food donated. We have the alcohol donated. We have the drinks, we have things donated. And so, more of the money goes to the children than if we were to have it at a nicer place.
Yeah.
Where we wouldn't have to worry about the screens and things like that.
I'd like to rent those screens, by the way. So, those things are nice. I was like, man,
They're pretty nice.
Yeah. And it's already paying, those kind of things. And that's what I was getting at too. I wasn't singling out y'all's organization, but in general, and since you did, I mean, there's so much behind the scenes that people don't realize that go in. And even though this program's been going on for a while, this community's growing. And I feel like it's really starting to get revved up now.
Yeah. And LASSO was more successful last year than it's been in the, all the previous years. But again,
Our expenses keep going up.
Yeah. Inflation is a real deal, and it's for everybody. And I had someone, well, why can't you just get this for free or do that for free? Because there's people that are involved in those organizations that need to pay their people as well. That's what makes the world go round. Let's just be real for a minute. You can't go out. Do you go to the grocery store and fill up your shopping cart and walk out without spending a dime? No, HEB is going to expect you to pay for the food. I don't think Zach Berry would be very happy if you walked into his store and walked out.
But the beauty of the program is we never ask the parents who are getting books to pay. Because we want them going to every child, regardless of the income.
Yeah. Well, that is the message that we want to get out today, and think about the children and ways that you can be involved. One way, very fun way, and see, again, here's the hard work of Kaye behind the scenes, and she's probably like, she's like, I'm planning this idea, and it's a great idea. I love this.
I get voluntold about these ideas.
That's what I was saying. Rick's got pulled in. Cherish your imagination. This is the Sweetheart Showdown. Coming up, going to be a lot of fun. Friday, February the 6th from 6 to 10 o'clock. Dinner will be served. Texas Roadhouse providing. See, again, here's all these cool things, Kaye, that you've put together that I don't take this for granted, folks. Texas Roadhouse. Check out the meal that's being prepared. What is this?
It's a 12-ounce ribeye dinner, and there will be to-go boxes.
Nice.
So, I mean, if you don't eat all your meal, you get to take it home with you. And most people cannot eat a 12-ounce steak.
There's also going to be some prizes given away as well. So come and be a part of this. You can go to yourimagination.info. You can register on the website right now. And come and be a part. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I would challenge you, even if you're single, just come and hang out. You're supporting a great organization. Come and be a part of it and know that ticket price is going to this to this organization with Tomorrow's Promise Education Foundation and the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. $60 for a ticket. $60. That's it, and that's going to get you a night of entertainment, a great meal.
Yeah, $100 for a couple.
Not bad.
So you save $20.
That may be that for Bridget and I. That's actually cheaper than us going out to eat because by the time we're done, we're spending over $100.
Well,
now.
and we are offering a parents' night out. We're having a special price for that too. So if you need childcare, you can call the school and arrange for that.
And so let me clarify that. So if there's somebody listening or watching this morning, they say, "Man, I want to go to this, but I've got little children." They don't go to Tomorrow's Promise, but that night they can get childcare at Tomorrow's Promise. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, go online, yourimagination.info, and let's continue to promote the great work that Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools is doing for children in our community. As I said, it's made a huge impact on my two little ones, and they've still, guess what? They've still got some years to go. So, and I want them to continue to receive the books. So please be a part of this, and let's continue to support this great organization. Kay, any final comments on the event coming up? I know we've covered quite a bit, but I'm looking forward to it this year.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I need people to buy tickets. That's really kind of stressing me out right now.
That's all right. We'll push for it. So.
My blood pressure is responding in a negative way.
Well, come and be a part of it, and it's going to be a great fun. And also, I'm so appreciative. Case thought of all of it because you didn't schedule this on How many times do you see these type of events that are on Valentine's Day? This gives you a chance to do something before Valentine's Day, so you can still go and do whatever else you wanted to do. Now you can add this and have a lot of fun and give back to a great cause at the same time.
Well, Rick and I have had 20 Valentine's Days together, and it's kind of like, okay, we're going to go out to dinner. Well, we go out to dinner. I mean, it's hard to find something special to do every year. And what?
We've had 20 Valentine's Day together, and frankly, I'm bored.
That's what Rick's thinking.
That's what I'm hearing over here.
I didn't hear it that. Well,
I heard it that way.
Actually, I didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
So anyway, this is something different, maybe a new way to start a Valentine's Day tradition, have some laughs, and do something different.
That's going to be great. Come out and be a part of it, and let's continue to promote the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library and the great work with Tomorrow's Promise and the Tomorrow's Promise Education Foundation. We'll take a break. Do we have a Rick and Kay's top 10 to wrap it up?
It needs to be a short break.
Yeah, very short, and then Rick and Kay's top 10 when
You'll
we come
love
back.
it today.
It's your show. It's tomorrow. I was about to say it's Tomorrow's Promise. It's your show. It's Good Morning Huntsville. Stay with us.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We are not a daycare. We are a child care center focused on the growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Coming at you live from Studio 1229J. It's time for Rick
And Kay's.
Top 10.
Okay.
Take it away, Ricardo.
Today is the National Celebrate Kiss a Ginger Day. And guess what? My wife's a ginger.
I was just going to say, you've got one.
Number 10. Compliment a redhead and immediately reassure them you're not being weird.
Very important first step.
Number 9, admire that ginger hair somehow looks great in every season.
Fall especially. They are the color palette.
Number 8, remember, redheads don't need filters. They are the highlight.
Built-in glow, no app required.
Number 7, learn that just teasing a redhead is risky business.
Yeah, choose your words wisely. Very, very wisely.
I've learned this the hard way.
Yeah, I bet.
Number 6, appreciate that gingers age like fine wine.
And sunblock. Not lots of sunblock.
Number 5, celebrate the fact that redheads are scientifically proven to be unforgettable.
Mostly because they remind you repeatedly.
Over and over.
Never ending.
Number 4, if you're going to kiss a ginger, you better ask first.
Consent is always in style. In fact, he did that on our first date. He asked me for permission to hug me.
Nice.
I didn't even get a kiss.
Worked out pretty well for you, though.
Yeah, well. Number 3, compliment their freckles. I don't think my wife has any. And each one has a backstory.
And probably a strong opinion.
That's true. Number 2, appreciate that redheads bring passion, humor, and just a little chaos. That's not a little.
That's not chaos. That's personality.
Oh, that's chaos. And the number 1 way, the best way to celebrate Kiss a Ginger Day, show a little love, give a genuine compliment, and maybe blow a respectful air kiss from a safe distance.
Safe, respectful, and smart.
So today, Huntsville, celebrate the gingers in your life.
Because the world would be a lot less interesting without them.
And before we wrap this up, full disclosure,
Yes, I'm a redhead.
which explains the leadership
The passion.
and why Rick thinks twice before arguing.
Smart man.
Okay,
All right.
that was what we had.
Well, there it is. Happy Ginger Day today.
Kiss a Ginger Day.
Kiss a Ginger Day today. I didn't know if that was ever okay to say ginger. I guess it is, right?
She's the one that came up with it.
Okay. Well,
It's the first time I heard that we're ginger. Yeah, I've never heard that.
Gingerbread.
So I didn't know there was a day about kissing gingers.
I didn't know there.
Well, there it
Well,
is.
the first time she said it, I thought she said gender. Okay.
He's like, what's
I'm
kiss
sorry.
a gender?
There's only one I like to kiss.
Well, there we go. You never know. You never know. So good stuff today, guys. Thank y'all very much. Well, hey, again, go online, yourimagination.info for all of the great events that are happening with Tomorrow's Promise, including the upcoming Cherish Your Imagination. Come out, be a part of that. Tickets are on sale now, and it would be awesome if we could get quite a few of those sold today. So make sure you go to the website, be a part of it. And, hey, a couple of other things I wanted to mention real quick. There is a barbecue fundraiser that is happening here in just a few days coming up on the 17th. When is this? Is that Saturday? Was it 17th?
Yeah.
Saturday?
I won't
Friday.
be in town.
Is it Friday or Saturday?
It's Saturday.
Let's see. 5 days from now, is that already? Yeah, crazy. Well, this is a barbecue fundraiser held to support Huntsville police officer Sean Brinson. The good folks at Save the Border Inc. have organized this. It will take place in the Prosperity Bank parking lot. If you guys will remember, Officer Brinson was hit in a
How's he doing?
He's doing much better, but still has a road of recovery obviously ahead of him. And so those medical costs are obviously piling up. And so this event is going to help to offset some of that cost. Hopefully, get it all paid for. It'd be nice.
How much is it, Rob?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of I didn't get information on the price, but I would say suggested $20. But it'll probably be a little bit less than that.
If I give you $40, will you give it to him?
Yes,
'Cause
sir.
I will not be around.
Yes, absolutely. We will. So that will take place on Saturday, and make sure that you get out and just support Officer Brinson and his family. Great, great folks. And then this one I'm really excited about. It's an aviation. You know, they've been working on the
Yeah.
new hangar out there and all that at the airport.
I want to go to that.
They are now having the official grand opening for the new aviation hangars.
No, it's just a groundbreaking.
Yeah, the groundbreaking ceremony. Yes, that's right. Monday the 19th. So come out.
That I can go to.
Fly into that. Be a part of it.
What time is that?
That will take place at 1 o'clock on Monday, January the 19th. So you can get all those events on our website, HelloHuntsvilleTX.com, or the Hello Huntsville app. And we'll keep you updated with everything going on. Okay, any final comments? Been a fun morning. I know you guys got to get rolling. We got a fun Monday. We get to go to Academy today, and 2 families are being blessed with bicycles. So
that's great.
We had a coloring contest, and our friends at Walker County Ace Hardware donated the gift cards for those bikes, and we have 2 families for that won that. It's kind of our first little thing with Spirit Radio. So we're
going to Academy Sporting Goods store.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're like, wait a minute, we ain't giving away no bikes right now. Going to the Tomorrow's Promise Academy. Do not go to Tomorrow's Promise Academy.
Not a good place.
But no, any final comments? Thanks for being here. Great show today, Kaye.
Thank you. I appreciate all the nice things you said.
Absolutely.
It made her cry.
Well, I mean 105% of them. So now, Rick, it's a whole different story. It's about 82%.
I love you too, Rob.
So, well, hey, that'll wrap it up. Get out, be a part of this community, support organizations like Tomorrow's Promise and the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Again, more information about these events online, yourimagination.info. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Jason Thompson joins us from Guardian Defense as we continue promoting and celebrating the good. And also, again, make sure to keep it tuned in to Spirit 94.3 for positive and encouraging music that will keep you uplifted throughout the day. Is that a word, uplifted?
Yes.
Okay, had to make sure with the grammar police over here. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 as I end every show reminding you that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We're not. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there this morning needs you. Good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you back at 7:30. See you, Rick and Kaye.
Adios.
Have a good week.